welcome to Living Wealthy Always. This is your host, Juneann Lewis. Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. Today is one of those days, and I know sometimes I say today's a special day, but today is a special day for me, and I'll tell you why. Living Wealthy Always is talking about wealth. I want to talk about Guyana, and Guyana in a positive way. Guyana is my country of birth, and I feel like I had a lot to do with this because I'm one of those people that prayed for my country. So I want to explain Guyana, and this video is not primarily for Guyanese people, it's for everyone out there. Guyana is one of those countries that's been blessed. It is the only English-speaking country in South America, as well as being that we are associated with the Caribbean because we're part of the British Commonwealth. With that being said, even though in everything we're involved with the Caribbean, geographically we're located in South America. So, Guyana has been blessed with what I would call a blessing. Some people don't always look at it the same way. Oil was discovered in Guyana. Now, I'm going to tell you why this is it's a major plus for any country, but it's a major plus for Guyana because Guyana was considered one of the poorest countries in South America and the Caribbean. Okay, with that being said, we're now on what you would say is the come up, okay? So we have to prepare ourselves for this. There's going to be many investors looking to invest in Guyana. And we certainly do welcome investors. As one of the Guyanese that live out in the diaspora, I'm certainly looking for investors myself to take back to my country to invest in a positive manner, not to take the money out of the country, but money must be spread back again to the people of Guyana so that the economy can grow. So anybody coming in, I would advise that that should be your term. I understand if you're coming from another country, yes, you're going to create wealth, but wealth has to be created for the Guyanese people as well. Meaning that if you're coming to build and whatever you're coming to do, Guyanese people should be the people helping you create and build any structures that you need. Your major head people, yes, we understand you're bringing them from someplace else, but you must invest back your money into the country. All right, all of that being said, I want to show you Guyana and the things about Guyana, what's being said about Guyana.
ExxonMobil Corporation recently confirmed a world-class discovery with a recoverable resource of between 800 million and 1.4 billion barrels of oil from the Liza-2 well, the second exploration well in the Stabroek Block offshore Guyana. Following that announcement, the ABC diplomats representing the United States of America, Canada, and the United Kingdom are assuring that Guyana will be in complete control of its destiny. Oil equals power and wealth, which means that international countries like the US, Britain, and as well as Canada would want to impose on what small countries like Guyana or economies like Guyana should do. How do we expect you folks to deal with this situation? Are you going to be imposing yourselves on Guyana, or are you going to be keeping a close watch?
Of course, also, I don't think Canada has been known to impose many things on many people internationally. No, what we do is a dialogue as a country. We have experience, and this experience has to be shared. And this is essentially what we're doing. We're sharing experience, making suggestions based on our own errors as we did implement processes in our country. We were not perfect, but we learned through trials and mistakes, and I think we've improved the way we extract goods from the soil, and so this is a good opportunity to share what we've learned.
In Guyana, like most countries in the world, the oil sector is done by private companies in conjunction with the government. So the U.S. government or any of the other governments has no way or desire to impose upon Guyana what to do. We certainly have a lot of experience and have seen a lot of other countries that have been the beneficiaries of great wealth. Some have done wonderful things like Norway and other countries. Other countries where I won't mention, but if you look very close to your country, you can probably find some examples, have not done great things with their oil wealth. But even if we do not want to impose, and even if we wanted to, there's no mechanism to impose, because this is between the government of Guyana and the companies that will be extracting the oil. However, we are going to be making recommendations about best practices and experiences, and it's up to the government to decide which best practices and experiences they follow.
Imposition is not anywhere in any of our minds. We have made mistakes. We made mistakes in the UK in the past in terms of how we dealt with our oil. We will pass those mistakes on as advice as to how maybe not to do some of the things we did. Some of our oil companies have done things around the world which were not correct initially, which they have now corrected. So it's all this passing on of what has been good, but also what has been bad and the lessons we have learned. That's what we're talking about.
Canadian High Commissioner Pierre Guéroc and Perry Holloway, U.S. Ambassador, as well as UK High Commissioner Gregory Quinn. The trio spoke to media operatives following an Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative EITI symposium held at the Armstrong Convention Centre on Wednesday.
We all agree that EITI has got a fundamental role to play in this because it brings the public sector with the private sector and civil society together. And ultimately, if that transformational effect is going to benefit everybody the way it should do, then those three groups need to work together.
Actually, ITI allows the parties who are involved, not only the extractors, but the government who actually will receive revenue for the extraction, and the communities and civil society who also will see the impact, to actually discuss and make certain that everybody understands each other and move towards what we in Canada call sustainable extractive industry, which means industry can be a contributor to long-term growth of our country. In this case, is a right step in the right direction to actually, as we are going to go to a multiple extraction, in the sense that we're going to increase tremendously the extractive sector in this country in the next 10 years, well, is it time to put the process in place.
Mondale Smith, HGP Nightly News.
So those are the things that are being said. We are about to go to the next level. Let's see some other things that happen in Guyana, because Guyana's got a lot of positive things.
It's time to learn geography now!
Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbie. Yes, the people here call their country Guyana. It's like if a guy was named Anna. Notable sites and landmarks include places like St. George's crumbling colonial townscape with St. George's Cathedral, Demerara Harbor Bridge, one of the longest floating bridges in the world, the headquarters of CARICOM, or the Caribbean Community, the Umanayana Building, the Stopbrook Market, Walter Roth Museum, Zoological Park, Georgetown Lighthouse, Pandama Winery, and the Radha Krishna Mandir Hindu Temple. Oh my gosh, there are so many cool spots in a place that's like mostly made up of unexplored jungle. Let's see more of that now. Basically, Guyana is like a survival-themed reality TV show location shoot paradise. First of all, Guyana is the second most densely forested country in South America after Suriname, as 3/4 of the country is covered in trees. Keep in mind though, the country is actually made up of 5 natural regions. A fertile marshy plain on the coast, the white sand belt inland made up of sand and clay, where most of the mineral deposits are located, the lush rainforest highland, and if you go way far south, you can get a little bit of desert and savanna in the interior, and then you get the interior savanna lowlands along the border with Brazil. Guyana sits on what is called the Guyana Shield, an elevated geological formation on South America north of the Amazon. This area essentially creates some of the most beautiful iconic waterfalls and all of the strange flat-top Tepuy mountains, including the tallest peak in Guyana, Mount Roraima, shared by Venezuela and Brazil, even though Brazil only has like 5% of it, but hey, it still counts. The longest river is of course the easily visible from satellite images Essequibo River, which pretty much transects the entire country east to west and is a major source of transport and trade in Guyana. In the forest you can find thousands upon thousands of species of mammals and birds and reptiles like the three-toed sloth, tamanduas, tamarins, capuchins, capybaras, pacas, over 50 different types of bats, which make up like 1/5 of all the mammals, and the national animal, the jaguar, can be found here as well. Resource-wise, agriculture and mining has been the most important economic activity, with sugar, bauxite, rice, and gold making up about 3/4 of all export earnings. Yes, gold. Nonetheless, even though exports have been steadily increasing over the years, Guyana still remains one of the poorest countries in the Western Hemisphere. Luckily, Guyana gained the world's attention when major companies like ExxonMobil and Shell discovered high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoirs holding potentially $40 billion in crude revenue oil 120 miles off the coast. If Guyana wins the appeal at the UN, this could potentially boost their economy, as they currently have no oil production. The national food of Guyana is the Amerindian dish pepper pot. Typically, the pot is reheated with new meats added every day, sometimes even for months. Other top natural spots include places like the Three Sister Lakes, including Mainstay Lake that looks like a lake of Coca-Cola due to the minerals, the Rapapuni area in the interior of the country surrounded by vast savannas, forests, and mountains, the annual rodeo event and safari that lets visitors get close to the wild and rugged interior, the beautiful Iwakrama rainforest, of course a section of Roraima Mountain which you can get close to by taking Roraima Airways that leaves from Eugene F. Correa Airport, and the iconic national symbol Kaider Falls, the widest single-drop waterfall in the world. Quite a fascinating place with physical diversity, very much like the people of this country. of the most notable people with Guyanese descent might include classic artists like Soul Ray, Ken Snake Hips Johnson, R.B. Greaves, Godfrey Cambridge, William Austin, Emmy Award journalist Asha Blake, politician Sharath Rampal, athletes Mark McCoy, Ezekiel Jackson, and Mr. Universe Hugh Ross, musicians Eddie Grant, Philly Knott, who even has a statue in Dublin, model Shakira Bakshkane, Leona Lewis has a Guyanese father, and Rihanna has a Guyanese mother, and a lot more, but we'd best move on to the final stretch of this episode. In conclusion, there is no one type of Guyanese person, and if you meet one, you still haven't even seen a fraction of the whole picture. The only way to scratch the surface of Guyana is to simply book a flight and step on the surface.
Wow, yes. To my Guyanese people, I say be prepared for the wealth and the growth. To the investors coming in and to the other people from around the world coming, we certainly do welcome you with open arms. And I say that as a Guyanese because I know that they have said that Guyanese people have to think about whether or not we're going to have racial tension because Guyana is a country that's, like most places, is divided. It has its racial issues. I believe in my Guyanese people. I believe that we're going to stand up as Guyanese first before we stand up as a race individually. So, my Guyanese people, I love you, and I want to say thank you for living, the ones that remain in Guyana. Thank you for keeping Guyana, and thank you for helping us to move forward to the next level. And that's it for our show today. Thank you so much. Continue to live wealthy. Remember, living wealthy always is a mindset.